Good morning, everyone. My name is Alice Clark, and I am the Executive Director of the Downtown Bellingham Partnership. We really appreciate you being here today. We have put together this meeting as a way to really educate business owners, residents, and others about the various service providers that work downtown and serving vulnerable populations. So it's a resource that a lot of folks have been asking for. And so we are happy to put this together, and we will be recording this, and we'll have it on our website as well. So if you know somebody that would like to learn more about this, you can always refer to the website once we get it up there. The meeting is going to have several presentations from these providers, and then at the end we will be answering some questions. So if you have a question, you can put it in the chat function and we'll catch that at the end. The other thing we hope to do is have some maybe scenarios of typical things you might see downtown, different instances of things that may be something that you're not exactly sure how to handle. And so we hope that this can give you some help with that too. So I'm going to start it off with Marisa Shepik. I hope I'm saying that right. She is with our HOT team that serves downtown, but also they go all over the rest of the city and do a lot of work in various encampments. And we also are really happy to have them downtown working on the streets. So what I'm hoping every presenter can do is just give us maybe your title and your organization, and just an overview of what you do. And if there's any changes to that, maybe you're adding on more people, or maybe you're looking for more staff, or any changes to your program that would be important for us to know, that would be great. So I am going to mute myself and hand it over to you, Marisa.
Hi, thank you. My name is Marisa Shepik. I am the Homeless Outreach Team Manager with Opportunity Council in the Whatcom Homeless Service Center Department. HOT, when we are fully staffed, we are a small but mighty team of 7. We do monitor the homelessness around Whatcom County. We work extremely closely with coordinated entry. We visit all of the encampments. We work with all of our community providers, and also offer education to the community and other partners as needed. We offer support to our clients for immediate resources. We are in the game of helping people get ready for housing, and that can look different for everyone. We really try and concentrate on bringing people to the resources that are actually going to work with them, because of course we don't want to set anyone up for failure. And once someone is slated for a housing program, HOT works really hard to keep people on the radar, so that way we can get them to their lease signing and get them in for their move-in date. As far as HOT in general, we work according to our best 5 main commitments. So we work ethically, logically, safely, according to best practices, and we always abide by client rights. Technically right now we are hiring for 2 positions, with one that may have just accepted an offer. So that's pretty exciting. Our ability to enter into the county areas happened as of October 1 for some funding that our department director, Terry, was able to get going for us. So that's super exciting. But we have a ton of little programs that we're just looking to add extra services on. And we always make sure to collaborate with our partner providers to make sure that the people that we serve are getting their needs met. And again, it is the most appropriate service, so that way we are setting them up for success. My team runs on Mondays and Fridays, 7 a.m. to 5 p.m. Tuesday through Thursday, we work 7 a.m. to 8 p.m. just because I don't have enough staff to keep it running all week. We are closed on weekends and legal holidays. However, hopefully in the near future, something like that will change and we'll be able to get more staff on.
That is great. Thank you for that thorough explanation, including your hours. Let's see, next up we have Shannon Hamilton will be speaking on behalf of the Mobile Crisis Outreach Team. So yeah, I'm gonna mute again, so you can go ahead.
Hi, I'm Shannon Hamilton. I am the program manager for the Mobile Crisis Outreach Team with Compass Health. So I did have a PowerPoint, but I'll just read from it, and then if people want it, I can send it to them later on. So the Mobile Crisis Outreach Team is a community-based outreach team, and we serve all ages of people who are at a risk of experiencing or currently experiencing a crisis. It is self-defined, and there has to be a behavioral health component as far as that crisis. Our team is made up of master's level mental health professionals. We have bachelor level care coordinators. We have substance use disorder professionals, certified peer counselors. We now have clinicians, master level clinicians in the 911 center. And we also have designated crisis responders. Let's see. So there's two sides. There's a voluntary side and then the involuntary side. So we have a team that meets people in a voluntary capacity wherever they are in the community. That can be at their home. It can be, anywhere in the community in Whatcom County. It can be, we have an office in Bellingham, and we also do telehealth, and sometimes we can just meet people on the phone if that's the only way that they feel comfortable. On the other side of the team, we have the designated crisis responders. These are our mental health professionals that have the ability to investigate clients who might meet the criteria for involuntary hospitalization. And that criteria is, let's see, it is grave disability, mental health, and then it's also if there's harm or imminent risk of great harm or death to self or others. So it's a pretty high criteria in order to have the investigation and then to get detained. Let's see. So there are several ways to make referrals to our program. The main one is through the Volunteers of America crisis line, which is 1-800-584-3578. We also encourage people to call the 988 number, but it might be kind of a roundabout way depending on their area code of them getting to us. Our services are 24/7. The designated crisis responders are 24/7. And on the voluntary side, they're 9 a.m. to 11 p.m. Monday through Sunday. And we're in 4 different counties. We're in Whatcom, Skagit, MCOT is, Island, and San Juan County. So when I tell you these hours, they're for Whatcom County. So we also have a provider line, a law enforcement line, and we also receive dispatches through the 911 center when it seems more appropriate that there's a behavioral health issue going on. What's helpful when making a referral is to make sure that you give their name, their date of birth, their current location, address, phone number. We want information in regards to what's going on, and then what kind of response is needed. We also need to know if there's any risk factors like weapons or pets in the home, other people in the home that might be dangerous, and then history of violence, and then obviously we've added COVID. So we provide same-day services. We can also do next-day services. We do they could walk into our office if that's what they need. We provide immediate mental health services, risk assessment, safety planning. We can connect them to other services. Let's see. Yeah. So right now, we're always looking for mental health professionals, master's level clinicians. We're also looking for peer counselors. We are expanding in the next few months, and so we'll continue to look for more mental health professionals, so master's level, bachelor's level, and also peer counselors. Trying to think if there's anything else. I think that's about it.
Did you speak about the hours? Like, is there any limitations to, I'm talking about like on the street response, not a call, but yeah.
Right, yeah. So from 9 a.m., technically, clinicians usually can go out from about 9 a.m. to about 10 p.m. From like 10 p.m. to 11 p.m. They usually will just answer the phone. Obviously, if they're already out in the field and, they're not going to stop it, they can keep going. But yeah, the thing is that the team is not very big. We only have a few clinicians and we service all of Whatcom County. So we do triage cases, but if all clinicians are busy working with a client, then it might take a little bit for them to get out there to see somebody. Also with our clinicians that are in the 911 center, they triage and then they figure out where. So not only do they provide mental health services to the client on the phone, but they would triage it and say, well, this will be better for the hot team, or this would be better for the heart team, or, coming up Grace or lead or art. So working with the community partners, and we work really closely with all the community partners to make sure that we're not duplicating services, but we're just providing them, getting them to whatever services they need to get to in order to, help them stabilize and bring them out of crisis. And sometimes that means, referring them to crisis triage or the hospital or detox, So there's, we just meet them wherever they're at and try to get them connected as quick as possible.
That's awesome. I have some questions, but I'll wait till the end myself.
Okay. I know there's so much, right?
Yeah, I think that this is great. I think I was expecting us to take, each presenter was going to take more time, and it looks like we're doing really good and being efficient. And so that's good because we can answer questions at the end and just give more context. So Melora, do you want to go next? Yeah, I'll just let you introduce yourself.
Great. Thank you, Alice. My name is Melora Christensen, and I am the Response Systems Manager with the Whatcom County Health Department. And the Response Systems Division is a new division inside of the Whatcom County Health Department, overseeing the GRACE program, the LEAD program, a mental health court, and I'll be talking about the new alternative response team today as well. Our division also oversees contracts that include the Crisis Stabilization Center, which is our detox and crisis triage here locally, as well as our jail behavioral health and reentry services. So today I will give a brief overview of GRACE and LEAD, and then we'd love to talk about the alternative response team. So GRACE is ground level response and coordinated engagement. It's been running since 2018. And in Bellingham, we have 4 intensive case managers that work 2 at Bellingham Fire with our community paramedics and 2 at Bellingham Police Department. And those case managers hold a caseload of 80 collectively. And those are individuals that are the most familiar faces to our emergency systems. So we're looking at the data to determine that. So You could call them high utilizers as well, but folks who are well known to fire and EMS, to law enforcement, to our jail and legal system, and to our emergency department at St. Joe's. We work with people really as long as needed, and we're looking for two outcomes that, as you can imagine, folks are complex, so it does take a while, but we're looking to reduce that reliance on emergency systems. And we're also working to improve the health and well-being of each person that we serve. Everything that we do is really in partnership with the systems and the partners in the community. We know that coordination is needed across all of these systems that traditionally have been very siloed and don't always talk to each other. So we emphasize communication, making sure we aren't duplicating services, a high level of coordination, making sure everyone's on the same page, really looking at the data to make sure that we are making an impact and that we are serving the right people. We have seen some really significant reductions in EMS contacts and jail bookings in the past 4 years. And we are currently looking at the data for law enforcement and our emergency department. So that is Grace. Another program that we run is LEAD, Law Enforcement Assisted Diversion. And the LEAD program currently has 5 staff. They'll be expanding to 8. And they serve all of Whatcom County, but have a concentration of clients in Bellingham. Those intensive case managers serve individuals who are well-known or high utilizers of the legal system and law enforcement. So we're looking at low-level law violations in the past 2 years. And we work through our eligibility criteria to see who we should be working with. And we do that in partnership with our legal system partners and law enforcement. For both Grace and LEAD, it's really important for the community to know that referrals are made into these programs by our emergency system partners and our legal system partners. And we're using data to really determine who we should be working with. If you want to take a look at our website, it's respondwhatcom.org. That's respondwhatcom.org. And you can see a little more about the different programs and how we interface with each other. LEAD serves right now 100 individuals at any one time. So our capacity right now is at about 180 between the two programs. And we do work with people often for over a year and really as long as needed to see that they are making improvements. And with LEAD, we are always looking to see that people are moving away from the legal system and moving towards stability. So intensive case management is looking at the whole person. It's providing basic needs support, transportation, assistance with appointments, income, legal issues. Our staff are out and about. Captain Joe Frank from Bellingham Fire is on the call today. He's one of the first responders that we are partnered with in the GRACE program. And then I'm just going to take a minute to talk about the Alternative Response Team, or ART. And this is a new program in the city of Bellingham that will be starting this year. And ART is a partnership with 911 Dispatch and Compass Health, responding to low-risk calls that come into the 911 system and do not require a law enforcement or medical emergency response. When those calls come in, they can be transferred to a services connector who is able to then send out the alternative response. So Shannon from Compass talked a bit about this. So that could be the mobile crisis outreach team, that could be the alternative response team, or it could be another outreach team like HOT or HEART. ART will work to provide aid to people in crisis, including a mental health, substance use crisis, or inability to care for themselves in the moment. It's a multidisciplinary team of a behavioral health specialist, bachelor's level behavioral health specialist, and a public health nurse or EMT. Really, again, just like Grace and LEAD, ART will coordinate with other crisis services and outreach teams to enhance community safety through strengthened partnerships between our first responders and community services. We're in the process of hiring right now, and we hope to have the team responding to calls in Bellingham by the end of this year. And just from right now, all programs will be Monday through Friday, but we are looking to, hopefully we would like ART to be responding to calls 6 to 7 days a week. And I'm happy to take questions later.
Okay, that's great. Lisa was to be here for Northwest Youth Services. Is anyone else representing that organization here or no? Okay. I don't think so. Maybe they'll pop in later. So I'm going to move on to Eva Rosa from Basecamp and the Lighthouse mission.
Can you guys all see my screen? Perfect. I do have a slide. We just have a couple different sections that I'm going to talk about. So my name is Eva Rosa. I work at the Lighthouse mission and I am the neighborhood liaison. And so I primarily work out of Basecamp and with the downtown core, especially with businesses and people who frequent the downtown area. So the first thing that I'm going to talk about is Basecamp itself. We are open 24 hours a day. This is the primary service that we offer downtown. We offer 3 meals a day. We have a coffee bar inside. We typically have snacks at our front desk. We have a phone at the front desk for people to use and to make calls to and from. We have beds, and our bed spaces are open from 7 p.m. to 7 a.m. every day, so people can come in and rest at night. We have hygiene products. So with that, we also have showers, so people can take showers, which include towels. So this is a lot of kind of what we really offer when you get inside the building. And then we have light touch case management. So what that is it looks a little bit different when you get to see someone living in a space versus brief interactions with them out in the community or when you're responding to calls from them. So we get to have this perspective of what it looks like when they're eating, sleeping, and resting in a space and utilize that to connect with other providers who, most of which are on this call today. So our light touch case management basically helps us assess and support their movement into other programs. From here, we can also transition people into our men's and women's recovery programs and intermediate housing that are through the Lighthouse mission, but are not at the Basecamp property. We offer laundry throughout the week, and we wash all towels and blankets and sheets throughout the entire week. Our front desk is open 24 hours a day. So no matter what, people can come up and engage with us, whether it's needing to process through things that are happening in their lives. But staff are always available to sit down with people and continue to engage with them or help fill out any applications that they need for food stamps, help get them connected to family or recover in any other ways that they need to recover. And then from Basecamp, we also send out our outreach team. So our outreach team does a lot of similar things as to what we do inside the building, but we bring it outside to people who, for whatever reason, are choosing to not stay with us or can't stay with us at that time. So the goal is for them to reach out, bring some of what Basecamp offers, and then invite people back into our main shelter. Through this, what they can do is they can facilitate appointment transportation in the vans, help get people to and from some of their medical appointments, to and from DSHS, help give out bus passes and be able to connect people in that way. They bring meals to people, water, hygiene products, so a lot of those similar things. We bring fresh pots of coffee out every day. They help check in with people and make sure that they've been in contact with their case managers. It's easy for people to move around, and so this helps get some eyes on the street so we know where people are at. And then we can invite them into our recovery programs without them staying at Basecamp if that's what they choose to do. So there's just a couple different ways for them to interact with Lighthouse mission. We go around downtown, and then we also expand out into pretty much anywhere in Whatcom County. They bring relationships. And then the other cool thing that we have is Shower Connect. Right now, the Shower Connect trailer only goes out once a week on Tuesdays, but we're trying to get it up to more as we get more volunteers, so we're able to run it. This has 2 showers, and toilets and sinks inside each of the stalls. Then it's hooked up and pulled behind our Shower Connect van, pulls out into the community, and can be set up so that people can get showers where they're at if for some reason they have issues getting to any of the accessible showers inside our building or to any of the other provider locations. So this is our outreach team. From there, you're probably interested in what happens with our downtown services and what we do going outside in the area. So we have a group of runners and walkers that leave from Basecamp every Monday, Wednesday, Friday at 6 a.m. And return around 7 a.m. It's called Stride. This group goes in and out, and it basically is just a community group of people that connects people experiencing homelessness, community members, workers, into the space of visibility, and health and wellness and community is all good spaces need. What else we do downtown is, if you're someone who works downtown, we have event processing. And so what that looks like is going out for coffee with likely me, sitting down, processing through any kind of high intensity events that might have happened while you're working, and then going through what happens next, what happened with this person, being able to add some context so that those don't feel like such isolated events. This isn't counseling. This is more just being able to connect with someone and not feel alone in this situation, as some things can be quite overwhelming and not what you expect to deal with in your daily life. We also bring the same outreach services to the downtown area. I think I mentioned that a little bit earlier. All those outreach services go around downtown and are connecting with people in that. We have a neighborhood cleaning. So we have a contract to be able to clean the areas in about the 2 to 3 block radius of Basecamp to help keep those spaces clean and avoid litter in alleys and streets. And then the last thing that we offer is we offer monthly de-escalation trainings on the second Thursday of every month. These are open to the entire community. They're entirely free. You can scan this RSVP to get to there. That code will work even if you're watching the video. So it'll always take you to the correct de-escalation training to RSVP for. That just lets me know how many spaces I need to set up. But it's free and monthly. And if you are a business owner, we can do them for private for your business as well, if you're interested in that. That's the quick rundown of what we do right now. What we're working on is we're starting our Lighthouse Mission Builds project, which is the 200 bed shelter plus the 100 beds of micro shelters down on the main Lighthouse Mission campus on Holly Street. So that's what we're doing. If you're interested in learning more about how that is being integrated with what we're doing right now and how we're going to make that transition, you can scan that QR code. And then the other thing to know is that we are expanding our 200 bed shelter by about 40 beds this winter for December, January, and February. We'll be using the old drop-in center for that space. That is not a walk-up shelter, so you can't walk in and check into that. Anyone who's just wanting to check in for the night will still come to Basecamp. And then we're facilitating the transportation to that 40 bed shelter, as that's going to be volunteer ran. But that's what's happening in our winter prep. If you want to get a hold of me or need to know where we're at, or want to ask any more questions about that maybe don't get answered today, or if you want to volunteer or tour our Basecamp, you can let me know via any of these things. The Basecamp email is my email, so I'll be the one checking that. Thank you.
Thank you for that. Lots of good information in there, so thanks. Next up, we have Greg Tullett from RSU, security, private security company in Bellingham. And both the private security and our safety ambassadors are recent additions over the last year. So they're, folks really on the ground dealing with incidences as they arise. So I'm going to hand it over to you, Greg, to tell us more about what you.
Thank you so much, Alice. I really feel inadequate after that wonderful presentation by Eva Rosa. That was really impressive. We are a security guard company. We were asked by the city to fill in a gap. They were looking into the ambassador program and invited us to fill in the times that the ambassadors were not able to provide. And as such, we developed a bit of a program that's a little different from what most security guard companies do. A security guard company is basically a company that will protect property, whereas especially with this city contract, we're more interactive with individuals. And so as a result, it's created this hybrid situation where we are actively engaging with people in the downtown core to help I guess the best way to say is it's a type of triage, but it is, again, because we're a hybrid situation between security guard companies and this interactive personal touch. It's created a very unique opportunity for us to get to know the different individuals that are residing downtown, but not just the residents there, but also between businesses, between just different players that interact downtown, including some of the negative players that are part of a criminal aspect for downtown. With all of this, it's meant that we have had to work with these wonderful partners that are presenting here today, and have developed that. Since we started in February, there has been quite a lot. I think it's amazing to see how well organized Bellingham has become in actually addressing some of the real issues that are in the downtown core right now, to the fact that we are communicating with other communities in Washington state where we have guards, and in talking with those communities, we realized that even their downtown partnerships are not as well organized as Bellingham is. And Bellingham, by developing these types of well, not just meetings, but then the different groups and what they do, Bellingham is becoming a leader in the state of Washington on not just dealing with a homeless crisis, but also helping with a criminal component to all of this as well. We are contracted by the city to be eyes and ears, to actually reach out, find out, see exactly who we're dealing with, get to know them, get to help direct them as to where they can go. And Tony does this as well, very, very successfully. The big deal that we do is we're primarily at night, in comparison to Tony and his team. The second part of what we do, though, is we contract with different businesses, and as part of our agreement with the city, we are offering businesses at a discount to get involved with us to assist with their properties, to help protect those businesses so that they can continue to have commerce, and feel secure and safe. So we, as a result, we have guards that are downtown 24/7, and that are actively on the street, that interact, that reach out and try to direct. We do direct a lot of folks to the Lighthouse, but we've been involved with just about every team at one point or another, with assisting folks to reach out for those services. The biggest aspect of what we do and how we want to approach everyone is with respect, to understand that everyone has dignity and everyone needs to be demonstrated that dignity and that respect. And so as a result, our guards are trained in de-escalation techniques and are very good at just being a presence downtown, not a not a legal presence or anything like that, but just being there to demonstrate that there needs to be a flow so that we can all be part of a community and actually help work together. So we see ourselves as tying a lot of these things together and helping with the communication that our downtown needs so desperately to deal with some of the issues that we're facing. And so that's it in a nutshell for me. And I am available, of course, for comment and questions afterwards.
Great, thank you very much. Tony is from our safety ambassador team. He's the leader. So he has been with us. We have a contract with the city to provide safety ambassadors, and he started in April. So he's seen the last few months of activity downtown. So yeah, take it away, Tony.
Thank you, Alice. Good morning, everybody. I think Greg really hit it on the head. We at the ambassador program, we try to be the eyes and ears, the feet on the ground for all of the outreach services. We carry around resource cards. We go out and we try to make, I would even say, friendships with a lot of the houseless and homeless people, so we can then use those relationships later on for different things that businesses might call us for. We offer a litany of different things, from umbrella service to citizens walking down the street. But a lot of what our main focus is right now is trying to coordinate the houseless and homeless people with the outreach services. So we do a lot of walking around downtown, biking around downtown, stopping, talking with houseless and homeless people, creating relationships, using those relationships to our advantage when a business calls and we have to go in and stop them from causing a scene and de-escalate the situation and bring them out and see if we can get them help in the proper way. A lot of the times businesses call us because it's not necessarily a situation that requires the police department. So they call us to come down, assess the situation, help out in any way that we can, and then call the according people from there. So like, say we need to call Marissa at the hot team, or we need to call MCOT. We need to get a hold of the proper people. We can be reached 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. 7 days a week. And we always have ambassadors out all over downtown. Let's see what else. There's a lot that we do. A bunch of different situations that you can call us for, and I encourage people to call us for, is if you see somebody that's in crisis and don't know how to help, give me a call, give our team a call, and we will show up, try to be there within about 15, 20 minutes or so. And then that's because we're so spread out. We could also possibly be on a call currently. Usually it's about 10 minutes we're within there. And then we'll assess the situation, try to calm the people down, see everything that we can do, and do what we can for them. We try to be a friendly presence everywhere that we go. We're constantly stopping into businesses and just saying hi, seeing if there's anything we need to do for them. We're constantly stopping and talking with everybody that we can. We're out during the farmers market on Saturdays. We were out during the Wednesday night sounds every Wednesday during the summer. We will be out during Friday night, first Fridays, I should say. Excuse me, a little nervous this morning. But yeah, there's so much that we do. It's hard to kind of quantify everything that we do. So I'll answer a lot of questions at the end, just to kind of elaborate more. The one thing that I like to get the most calls for, and that I probably get the most calls for, is citizens just being concerned about other citizens. We approach everybody with empathy, respect, dignity. So when somebody calls us and they're like, I'm really just concerned about this person, that's our time to shine. We get to go down, hopefully use that relationship that we've already developed with that person and get them to the proper help. Most of the time it's reaching out to one of the other programs because they've already have a relationship with somebody. We have cell phones on us. We allow those people to call their case managers or anybody that they need to get a hold of them that way. So it's a really great thing for us to do. We also de-escalate situations. We'll also try to talk people out of doing bad things. We work closely with Greg and his team. I've had to call a couple of their guys for backup a few times just because things get a little hairy and it's better to have more people than less. But nothing's ever dangerous. Nothing's ever too dangerous for us. Things that I also recommend is if you think a situation is dangerous, sometimes it's not. It just looks that way because of the crisis that people are in. A guy was waving a belt around. He's not really dangerous. He looks dangerous. He's not. He's just in crisis. We know him. We haven't developed a relationship with us. The nice thing is when we talk to him, he calms down. When the heart team comes out, who's developed a close relationship with him, he calms down even more because he knows us. He's just upset. So it's really nice. And that's what we encourage people to call us for. If you see somebody like that, give us a call. We'll come assess the situation. If it's super dangerous, please call 911. A lot of the time, MCOT will call us too because they want us to go out and see if we can find the individual and assess the situation for them. So it's been a great program. And I'm looking forward to ARC getting developed, and we're just really in touch with everybody.
That's great. I'm wondering if there's anyone here yet from Northwest Youth Services. Speak up if so. I guess they're not here. Yeah, this is like, it's really great to have all of you here explaining what you do, not just because it's good information, but I think it's good for people to see how interconnected you are and how you actually are working together on these issues. We have, houseless populations. We have people that are, having mental health episodes. There's drug-related incidents. And they're separate, but they're also interconnected. And you can see that with the responses as well. A lot of folks working on different areas, but together. So that is great. I think what we can do now is, let me just check, make sure we've covered everyone. I guess one of the questions I have is, does anyone feel educated enough about Northwest Youth Services to speak to what they provide downtown and how you might interact with them? Because I am not fluent enough to do that, but maybe somebody else is. Or not. Okay. Does anyone have enough? Oh, Melora, were you going to speak?
Yeah, I was just going to say I would encourage folks to go to their website. I know their services have changed, but they do operate some shelter as well as outreach services and have a drop-in day center for young adults. But again, things have been changing a bit, so I don't want to speak on their behalf. I would encourage people to go to their website. Yeah,
good plan. The other thing is, I don't know if anyone has, and maybe this might be Jenny Hageman from our team. She's here helping with the presentation about the way station, because that's going to be another resource that's going to be coming online soon that I'm sure you guys will be interfacing with as well.
I think that Marisa from HOT would be.
Marisa, okay, go for it, Marisa.
If she's willing.
Helps if I can get it unmuted. So basically, for Northwest Youth Services, correct?
No, for the
And-
way, for the
I
way.
was hoping that you could speak about the way station, just kind of what it will do and maybe its timing.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
For Way Station, there's two separate sides. There's a side that'll promote day services, walk-in services for mental health. Sounds like they'll have some on-site medical services and what have you. And then my side is the respite side. And those referrals will come directly from St. Joe's. To my knowledge right now, they're trying to get in and do all of the earthquake proofing and what have you for the building. There's plans just kind of floating around left and right. So I don't have an exact date, but it sounds like mid 2023 is when everything will be finally up and going. And we were hoping that would be earlier, but again, the earthquake proofing situation came into play. So
Oh, yes, the old seismic retrofitting. I'm familiar. So I guess I'm gonna also let other people ask some questions, but one thing that I have heard from business owners about RSU and safety ambassadors is I think that they have a idea that you may be able to do things that you're really not able to do, meaning you cannot physically grab someone and move them someplace else, right? So can either of you speak to that? Because I really want people to be clear about this is what we can do. These are the things we're not going to do and we can't do. Either one of you is great too.
Go ahead and speak up, Tony.
Yeah, sorry. Go ahead, Greg.
Yeah. We do not, under any circumstances, lay hands on someone. The only situation where we would actually lay hands on someone is if they physically attacked one of our guards first. And even then, the guards are trained to get out of, to not engage, to actually move away from the physical altercation. And what we do is at that point is when we get the police involved as quickly as possible. If we see that it is that there is potential for violence in the situation, or if there is some life-threatening component to what we're dealing with as we're interacting, we get the police involved right away. They're the ones that have the legal authority to act in those situations, and we feel it very important to have that connection and partnership, if I put it that way, with the police in those situations. However, we do believe that de-escalating, I think Tony said it perfectly a little earlier, that a lot of these situations aren't, they may seem violent, they may seem destructive, and in reality, it's somebody just having a bad day. And so by de-escalating with through conversation, it really is very effective. And we find that very good, to the point where afterwards they feel more comfortable dealing with us, talking with us, engaging with us, and allows us to help direct them further. So de-escalation's the big component when it comes to what we can and cannot do. We also are, as the guard side of things, we are not authorized to just move people from wherever. So we want to always respect right of way. We always want to follow point of law. It comes to how we interact with people and what we ask them to do. So that's a big component of what we do as well.
All right, that's really helpful. Does anyone else have any questions they'd like to ask?
Real quick, Alice, I'd like to speak to that just a little bit more. Greg and RSU, they deal a lot with the night components and with more private security of the businesses. When I'm out every day, a lot of the calls that I get from businesses are loitering issues, things like that. That is where our relationships with the houseless and the homeless really come into effect. We're able to go and talk to these people and just let them know that there is a city ordinance. There is a no loitering and no sleeping and no sitting. And a lot of the times the way we're going to interact with those people is by saying, you know, I got a call from a concerned citizen. They saw you sleeping. They were just wanting to make sure that you were okay. 90% of the time they get up, they move on. It's a wonderful thing. You know, I like to show off the information eye that we have on our shoulders and just let people know that's what we do. We let them know that they are currently in a violation, but we can't enforce anything. If somebody's in your business causing a scene, we'll come and we will try to talk them out of it. We're really good at de-escalation, really good at getting them to move on because we have relationships with them. I've, you know, used, hey, so Jane, I know you lost your ID. I know where we can go get it. Let's go get you. You know, we were talking about this yesterday. We de-escalate the situation. We get them out of the business. We move on with our day. Everybody's much happier. Sometimes I can't, and then we have to get the police involved, and it's a trespass at that point. And that's, you know, hopefully we don't have to get to that situation very often. With my team, we never usually have to.
Okay. If there's no questions right now, I think what I'll do is ask some, I'll just put out some scenarios and then we can kind of talk about what should happen or what would happen. Someone says, someone's outside of my storefront yelling and they seem to be wielding a weapon. What would happen? Who should they call? And who do you think will be responding? And this is just open for anyone that feels like they're able to answer this. I'm just going to throw out some scenarios and we can talk through what the response would be and who they should call.
It's kind of a twofold question there, Alice. The first thing, they can definitely call us at the ambassador team. I like to say that we will respond to anything outside of imminent danger. Imminent danger being like if it's a big knife, a machete, that's a 911 call. That's a, you know, the police need to be involved. If it's a gun, something like that. But that kind of also goes back to what I was saying before. There's an individual downtown. He's very well known. He was waving his belt around. He was slapping his belt against trash cans, things like that. It's considered a weapon. Do I consider it an imminent threat? Not really. I know him fairly well. I don't feel threatened by him. I understand that he's having a bad situation. That's where you would call my team. We're going to come assess the situation. We keep ourselves safe, but because we already have developed these relationships with the individuals, it's easier for us to see who we need to call. Right. A lot of the times, if you call the police, because they're so spread thin right now, it's going to take a lot longer for them to respond. My team can get down there much quicker, and then we can give Grace a call because we know that that person already has, you know, somebody that they're dealing with at Grace.
Okay. There was a question from Erica, and it's for Greg. If you are contracted with the city already, why do businesses need private contracts to protect themselves? Isn't that what you are already supposed to be doing? This is a little dicey question, but I'm going to let you try.
Actually, it's a very appropriate question.
Oh, good.
Because we do have limits as to what we can do for the individual businesses downtown. Even though we're contracted with the city, we still do not have the authority of a police department, nor do we want that. That's not our role. And so when it comes to each private individual property, the property owners themselves are the ones that that are responsible for that. The police can come in and follow point of law when it comes to that. But as far as security goes, all we can do, we can engage, very, very similar to what the ambassadors do. We can talk to them. We can ask them to move along. We can even de-escalate situations that can seem harmful. But to actually ask somebody to move, to ask them to move and trespass them from the property, we need the authority of the property owners to do so. And so, although with the city, we've worked on doing that with different businesses within the city, most of the time we can do it as simple as just setting up a call out contract where they can for very, very inexpensively just have it so that if they need to call us, we can come respond and work with trespassing that individual verbally from that site. But without their interaction with us and giving us authority to actually engage and protect their property, we don't have the legal right to do so.
I get it. I get it.
With the city contract.
Right. Okay, that's awesome. We have 4 minutes, so I'm going to have Jenny kind of pull up, if you could, the information. It's a kind of a combined resources of everyone here that we will also have on our website, and we can share it here too if anybody wants to grab that. Numbers to call, what people do. What's really great, I think, is that these service providers all are meeting regularly too. They have their own scheduled time that they get together and just talk about what's going on and what they're seeing and how they can continue to work really well together. So I really appreciate that that's happening as well. I think that is it, unless anyone has any further questions or anything else they'd like to add. This would be the time.
I just wanted to add a couple more things that I thought about afterwards.
Yeah.
I just wanted to let you know our services, we usually try to meet people for up to 2 weeks for each crisis episode. However, they can have multiple crisis episodes. There's like no time limit on the amount of crisis episodes they have. And there's also no cost to the client. We will bill insurance, but if they don't have insurance or if they have co-pays, they're not responsible for that.
Okay, that's great. These numbers, we'll be putting them on our website. We'll be sharing them through our newsletters and other means. And I hope that we can, we'll also have this recording on our website, like I said, as well. So if someone was not able to be here, then we can have the recording up and they can watch it and just learn more about what everybody's doing and how you guys are working together. Yes, I think that's it. There's probably other things I'm going to think of when we get off of here, but I really appreciate everyone taking the time on a Monday morning to drink coffee and get here and speak so eloquently about all these issues. I know it's really, like I said, it's very complex, and it comforts me to know that you guys are all out there working with these populations and helping them as much as we can. So I know it's not easy. And so just from us here at the partnership, I just want to say we really appreciate it. And yeah, thank you for all of your services. Okay. That's it. Thank you very much. And yeah, we'll put the recording and this PDF on our website. You could probably see it by midweek. Thank you.